Have you ever paused to ponder how the clarity of your thinking influences your everyday life? This question is the gateway to our exploration of clear thinking, a critical skill that shapes our decisions, relationships, and ultimately, our lives. Today, we delve into a fantastic book that lays a roadmap to achieving this clarity. This book is structured into 5 compelling sections. First, we confront the enemies of clear thinking, those unseen roadblocks that cloud our judgment. Next, we focus on building strength, cultivating our minds to be clear and focused. Then, we learn about managing weakness and how to navigate around our cognitive blind spots. We progress to decisions where clear thinking is put into action. Here we explore how clear thinking can lead to better decision-making. Finally, we wrap up with wanting what matters, a section dedicated to aligning our desires with our clear thinking. So buckle up as we dive into this enlightening journey. We start our journey by identifying the enemies of clear thinking. Now, this may sound like the beginning of an epic quest, and in a way it is. The first part of the book zeroes in on those pesky obstacles that stand in the way of our clear thinking. These aren't physical barriers, but mental roadblocks that we often unknowingly put up ourselves. First up, we have cognitive biases. These are like invisible glasses that color our perception of the world. They can lead us to make decisions based on our preconceived notions, not on the facts at hand. Think of it like this. Imagine you're reading a detective novel, and you're convinced that the butler did it, so you ignore all the clues pointing towards the gardener. That's cognitive bias in action. Next, we delve into the murky world of misinformation. In our fast-paced digital age, false information is like a virus, quickly spreading and infecting our thinking. It's not always easy to spot, but once it takes hold, it can distort our understanding of the world around us. Ever heard the phrase, "Don't believe everything you read on the internet"? That's a mantra for avoiding the misinformation trap. Finally, we explore emotional distortions. These are feelings that cloud our judgment and skew our thinking. Emotions are a natural part of being human, but when they start to dictate our decision-making process, they become an enemy of clear thinking. It's like trying to read a book through a foggy window. The words are there, but they're distorted by the emotional haze. So there you have it. Cognitive biases, misinformation, and emotional distortions. These are the enemies of clear thinking that we grapple with on a daily basis, often without even realizing it, but as the book reminds us, awareness is the first step towards change. By recognizing these enemies, we're better equipped to challenge them, to question our own thinking, and to strive towards a clearer, more objective understanding of the world. Understanding these enemies empowers us to combat them effectively. So let's continue on this journey, armed with our newfound knowledge and ready to face the challenges ahead. Now that we have identified the enemies, let's build our fortress. Where is this fortress, you might ask? It's not constructed with bricks or stones, but with the intellectual strength we develop within ourselves. This strength acts as our defense against the enemies of clear thinking that we previously discussed. In the second section of the book, the author delves into the process of building this intellectual strength. It's not a one-and-done deal, but a continuous process. It's like going to the gym, but for your brain. Just as you build physical strength by working out, you build intellectual strength by exercising your mind. A key component of this mental workout is critical thinking. Critical thinking is the ability to analyze information objectively and make a reasoned judgment. It involves the evaluation of sources such as data, facts, observable phenomena, and research findings. It's about not taking things at face value, but digging deeper and asking the tough questions. Another important aspect of building intellectual strength is intellectual humility. This is the recognition that our knowledge and understanding are limited. It's the ability to admit when we're wrong, to change our minds in the face of new evidence, and to be open to the ideas and perspectives of others. Intellectual humility keeps our minds flexible and adaptable. However, both critical thinking and intellectual humility would be ineffective without the fuel of curiosity. Curiosity is the engine that drives us to explore, to learn, and to grow. It pushes us to venture beyond our comfort zones and to seek out new knowledge and experiences. It's the spark that ignites the fire of intellectual strength. Building intellectual strength is not a passive process. It requires effort, discipline, and a commitment to lifelong learning. It's about constantly challenging ourselves, pushing our boundaries, and striving to improve. So, Let's lace up those mental gym shoes and start building that fortress. Remember, the stronger our intellectual strength, the more robust our defense against the enemies of clear thinking. Building intellectual strength is a proactive approach to clear thinking. While building strength is essential, managing our weaknesses is equally important. This statement is not just a powerful opener, but it's also the core of the third part of our book, which shines a spotlight on the concept of managing weaknesses. It's a part that many of us would rather skip, as it forces us to confront our limitations and vulnerabilities, yet it's arguably one of the most critical sections in the journey to clear thinking. The book emphasizes that acknowledging our weaknesses is not about self-deprecation. It's about understanding our limitations, accepting them, and learning how to work around them. It's about finding our blind spots and turning them into areas of growth. It's about taking a step back, looking at ourselves objectively and saying, yes, this is a weakness, but I can manage it. In our quest for clear thinking, we are often so focused on building our strengths that we neglect our weaknesses. We become lopsided, excelling in certain areas while falling short in others. This imbalance can lead to a distorted perception of reality, which is counterproductive to clear thinking. The book teaches us that managing our weaknesses is not about eliminating them, but rather about mitigating their impact. It's about understanding that no one is perfect, and that's okay. It's about developing strategies to compensate for our weaknesses, whether that's seeking help from others, using tools or resources, or simply practicing patience and perseverance. The book also reminds us that managing our weaknesses doesn't mean we should stop striving for improvement. On the contrary, it encourages us to push our boundaries, to keep learning and to keep growing. It urges us to view our weaknesses not as permanent obstacles, but as temporary hurdles that can be overcome with effort and determination. So, as we continue our journey towards clear thinking, let's remember to give equal attention to managing our weaknesses. Because, as the book rightly points out, even the most brilliant minds have their limitations. It's not about being flawless, it's about being resilient. It's about turning our weaknesses into strengths, one step at a time. Remember, even the strongest minds have weaknesses. Clear thinking is not just an abstract concept, it's a tool we use every day. It's as integral to our lives as the air we breathe, the food we eat, and the dreams we chase. But how exactly do we put clear thinking into action? How do we harness its power to make better decisions? The fourth part of our book dives into the nitty-gritty of this. It emphasizes the importance of logical reasoning and evidence-based decision-making. But what does that mean, you ask? Well, logical reasoning is about connecting the dots, about seeing the relationships between different pieces of information. It's about understanding the cause and effect, the if and then, the because and therefore. Evidence-based decision-making, on the other hand, is about grounding our choices in facts, not assumptions or hearsay. It's about asking the right questions, gathering the right data, and then using that data to guide our decisions. It's about being objective, not subjective. So, when we talk about clear thinking in action, it's about using these two tools, logical reasoning and evidence-based decision-making, to navigate our way through the maze of life. It's about cutting through the fog of confusion and seeing things as they are, not as we wish them to be. With clear thinking, we can make decisions that are not just good, but great. Decisions that take us closer to our goals, that make us happier, healthier, and more fulfilled. Clear thinking is the compass that guides our decisions. Finally, clear thinking helps us want what truly matters. This is the essence of the final part of the book, which weaves the threads of introspection and self-awareness into the fabric of our desires and values. We all have desires, needs, wants. They drive us, motivate us, sometimes consume us. But do they align with our values, with who we truly are and what we truly want from our life? That's where clear thinking comes in. It is the compass that guides our desires in the direction of our values, ensuring that we are not lost in the wilderness of unfulfilled wants and misaligned aspirations. The book emphasizes that clear thinking isn't just about making better decisions or avoiding cognitive traps. It's about knowing ourselves better, understanding our drives, our motivations, our deepest desires. It's about peeling back the layers of superficial wants to uncover what truly matters to us. It's about asking the hard questions. What do I value? What do I want my life to stand for? Do my desires align with these values? And if they don't, am I willing to change them? But remember, introspection and self-awareness are not one-time activities. They're a journey of discovery, of understanding, of aligning our desires with our values, a journey made possible, easier, and more meaningful by clear thinking. And that's the beauty of clear thinking. It's not just a tool, it's a way of life that helps us want what truly matters. Clear thinking helps us align our desires with our values. So, we've journeyed through the world of clear thinking. We've tackled its enemies, those all too familiar pitfalls that cloud our judgment and distort our perception. We've talked about building strength, about honing our minds to be sharp, efficient tools that can cut through the murk of confusion. We've discussed managing weakness, understanding that even the strongest minds have their vulnerabilities and that it's okay to acknowledge and address them. We've seen clear thinking in action and how it can guide our decisions, helping us navigate life's complex maze with more confidence and less regret. And finally, we've grappled with the concept of wanting what truly matters, of aligning our desires with our values, our dreams with our realities. In essence, clear thinking is not an abstract concept confined to the pages of a book. It's a practical tool, a silent ally in our everyday lives. Remember, clear thinking is not an end in itself, but a means to an end, a tool to help us live more meaningful lives.